please. Very good. Court is back in session.
We will continue with our pre-trial docket, and we will begin with Mr. Harper's cases. Good afternoon.
If I can call William Adams. Is
Okay.
President approaching?
William Adams.
It's 22 CF 3033. Judge, this is a relatively new case to me. Address him.
Very good.
Next judge is Bobby Walton.
Okay.
He's President approaching judge. He has some medical issues. I have not had any discovery yet at this point, Judge. So I've asked to continue this to the 410 pre-trial.
State.
No objection to the continuance. And it looks like we're working on sending that discovery to
Okay, so that's imminent?
Yes,
Sending
sir.
out discovery to them?
Yes, sir.
Okay, make a note of that. So you can complain about it after at the next hearing.
The next one that I have, Judge, is Sandra Beard. Judge, she was present this morning. I was going to ask to set this for the 20th on docket day, clear, continue. I'm anticipating resolve it on that date one way or the other, but she's not. She was present this morning, Judge.
So, plea or trial, or plea or continue? You anticipate a plea, but what happens if we don't get one? I'm just kind of trying to figure out where we're going.
I'm fine with plea trial. The state is
Okay,
to do that.
very good. Plea or trial? Very good.
The next one I have, Judge, is Nicholas Bennett. He's President approaching judge. I spoke with him briefly today. I think he's inclined to resolve this by plea. He just has a couple of questions that I need to speak with him in my office about, so I'd ask to bring him back on docket day.
Okay, very good. So let's do it Thursday.
No.
Docket day 220, thank you. 9 a.m.
The next one, Judge, is Mauricio Bonilla. Your Honor, we can pass Mr. Bonilla. I'm not certain as to why he's not present. The next one is Marcus Brantley. He is present and approaching. He's before the court on 21 CF 2641.
And also 2016 CF 2148.
Yeah, Judge, that's the kind of that's a conditional release detainer issue that's somehow being sticking on the docket as a VOP, even though it's not technically a violation of probation. We'll get that resolved, Judge. I've spoken to the state about it. As to the new law case, 21 CF 2641, we're going to leave that set for plea or trial this cycle.
Okay. We'll come back on docket day.
Yes, sir. The next one, Judge.
220 at 9 a.m.
Yes, sir. Sarah Browder. Sarah Browder.
So as to the 2016 case,
What happened procedurally, Judge, is that he was sentenced to a DOC sentence. He essentially was placed on conditional release. Upon this particular case, that became an issue with his conditional release, but he was never put on probation. That's resolved administratively with the Florida Parole Board, and I think he's actually EOS on that, and that matter is closed. But it's not a violation of probation, which is what's reflected on the docket.
Okay. So kind of where are we going with that? I'm just, you don't have to.
That particular case should be closed.
I think it should be closed too, Judge.
Okay, so you'll deal with it then.
Yes, sir.
So do you need to file some? Does the state need to file some?
I don't know the answer to that question, to be honest,
I
Judge,
had
but
a,
if it would help, I will.
I had a similar case to this before. I actually had to file a motion to dismiss, and I even had an order signed, and it still wasn't closed, so.
Okay.
I'll
So if you all, if the state represents, the defense certainly, if the state represents that this case should be closed and there's nothing outstanding, we're talking about 2016 CF 2148 only.
Yes,
If the state's representing should be closed, I'm going to order it closed, and the clerk will close it. How about that? Is that okay?
it's up to
That's
you.
fine, Judge.
Okay, very good.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Trying to be helpful.
The next one, Judge, is Sarah Browder. She was present this morning. I had intended to continue this based on some facts that are in the discovery. I'm not certain if we want to pass her into the end, Judge, but she was present this morning, and I did speak with her.
Okay. I'm just going to say this is the third person this afternoon.
Yes, sir.
I understand this is the pain in the rear for everyone to have to come and sit here all day. I've got 230 cases. We are moving through our cases as fast as we can. It's not the court's fault that you've been arrested and you have to be in court. So you better be here, because the next thing we're going to have pickup orders, and cops are going to be coming around picking up people that aren't showing up in court. Please contact your attorney and please follow through. And that's not for all the people that are here, because you've been here. So I apologize for doing it, but I'm kind of letting everybody know so they can pass it on to their clients. So I appreciate everybody here. And I want to acknowledge that these are long days. We split these days in half with the inmates to try and make it faster. And we'll continue to try and be as efficient as we can. So, but anyway, with that, I'll get off my soapbox. Go ahead, Mr.
I'm not certain as to how the court would.
Browder, do you want to wait till the end?
We'll wait on Ms. Browder.
The next one is Willie Carter. I'm going to ask to wait to the end on Mr. Carter as well, Judge. He's actually, it's a more complicated issue. Jonathan Cook is next. Mr. Cook is present and approaching. Judge, if we can bring him back on 220. There's an issue with respect to a body cam canine video. I just need to confirm that we've received it, that I can review that with Mr. Cook, and we might be able to resolve it this evening.
Okay. Very good. We'll come back on the 20th next Monday, 9 a.m.
Thank you, Your Honor.
The next one, Judge, is Sean Coy. Mr. Coy is actually in the custody of the federal government. I'm not certain if the state has had any correspondence from the AUSA on that.
Your Honor, I did, and he is set for sentencing in federal court next month.
So
If we can,
how does that affect how we're going to proceed with this case, with these two cases?
Your Honor, obviously if he goes to federal prison, I believe that these cases will be dismissed. We won't be able to get him back from federal custody in order to work these cases, so I mean, that's really kind of the only option.
That's what you're saying. It's not. I don't know that I would totally agree with that, but if that's the state's position, that's fine. So we'll just come back on a regular cycle and see where we're at with that.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So we'll come back. We'll continue it till 4:10, 9 a.m.
thank you, Judge. The next one is Stacy Crowley. Non-frequent pass, Ms. Crowley, she was present. The next one is Aaron Davenport. Mr. Davenport was present and present. Judge, we had a plea agreement set up. There was an issue with one particular count that would result in an adjudication as opposed to withhold. The state is looking into that. We will resolve this by a plea on a docket day.
Okay, we'll come back on docket day, which is next week, 2/20 at 9 a.m. Plea or trial. Thank you.
Judge, I just saw Sarah Browder walk in.
Okay.
She was number 140 on the docket.
Okay.
Judge, I would be asking to set this for the 410 pretrial so I can meet with her and discuss her case.
So looks like it's first time up. The court will continue until 4:10.
The next one that I have, Judge, is Miguel de la Rosa, number 147.
Now, let me just say, would you announce, I've got 3 cases with Aaron Davenport, which we just did. Did you announce all 3?
I apologize, Judge, but for the purposes of the record, 22 CF 1976, 22 CF 2341, and 22 CF 2401 are all Mr. Davenport.
And you're anticipating those will all be
Yes, sir.
hopefully resolved? Okay. I just wanted to kind of get the record straight.
This is Miguel de la Rosa, 22 CF 1935. Judge, I would ask to continue this to do depositions in this case. There is some documentation we're trying to wait on to receive from the family. I think that will have some mitigating effect, and that's what I'll be doing in the interim.
State?
You're right, that's a continuous.
Okay, the court will grant the continuance until the next cycle, which is April 10th, 9 a.m.
Thank you, Judge. The next one is Dylan Dodd. Mr. Dodd is present and approaching. He's before the court on 21 CF 3171. At this time, Mr. Dodd is going to withdraw his previously entered plea and enter a plea of no contest. This will be a plea to a lesser included offense of improper exhibition of a firearm. Will be adjudicated guilty, placed on 11 months and 29 days of probation, be assessed $270 in court costs, $150 cost of offense, have no trespassing at Meg's Park, have no weapons, firearms, drugs, or alcohol during probation and randomly ways. Let me approach.
You may. Is the state in agreement?
That is the state's agreement.
Mr. Dodd, would you please raise your right hand, sir? Do you swear or affirm the information you're about to provide this court is the truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Where is Meg's Park?
It's off of Shalimar Drive, I believe. It's like a little alleyway and thing. The water.
Okay. I thought I knew my way around that area back there. I went to middle school in there and walked around all over those. Okay. Did I swear you in, Mr. Dodd?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you heard your attorney state the terms of your plea agreement.
Yes, sir.
And I see that those same terms are contained in the written plea agreement which you have signed. Have you gone over all of the legal details of this plea agreement, made sure you had all your legal questions answered?
Yes, sir.
You understand that by entering into this plea agreement, you're waiving some valuable legal rights, right to go to trial, right to contest all this? You understand that? Have you had gone over that with your attorney? You believe it's in your best interest to enter into this plea agreement?
Yes, sir.
You understand that this will be a final resolution of your case?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Based upon that testimony, the court will accept your plea to the lesser included offense of improper exhibition of a firearm. Do we have a statutory cite to that lesser included? Don't you need that, Madam Clerk?
Yes, sir.
While I'm going over this, Ms. Sharpless, you can get that.
Yes.
And in addition, there will be an adjudication of guilt. The key part of this, obviously, is the probation. 1 day short of a year, 1129 probation, court costs. Also, no trespassing. Do you know where Banks Park is?
A little bit, somewhat.
A little?
Somewhat.
Well, I don't want to. There's a no trespassing on that. I'd like you to know where it is so you don't stumble on it and get arrested by a police officer who will surely figure it out. You kind of know. I'm serious. I don't have to know where it is, but you definitely do know.
Yeah, I know where I'm at.
You know where Meg's Park is?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you understand that there's no trespass there.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And also, even though alcohol is legal, I don't know how old you are, but presumably, but alcohol is legal, but under this probation, no alcohol. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Random UAs?
Yes, sir.
Very good. What, you got a statute number for us, Ms. Sharpless?
Yes, Your Honor. So the improper exhibition of a dangerous weapon or firearm is 790.10.
Very good. Okay. So the court, like I say, accept it, and you'll be 1129 probation, and the other fees and costs and requirements are contained in the plea agreement. Any questions?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor,
Thank
this to be supervised by felony probation or JC.
The United States intent was JCS.
JCS. Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
The next one, Judge, is Sherry Dorgan, 22 CF 2280. Case President approaching. Judge, Ms. Dorgan is in the process of compiling some evidence that I need to provide the state in reciprocal discovery. Additionally, I'm going to need depositions of a pertinent witness that I don't think is really listed in the discovery that we do have. So I'd ask to continue this for 10.
State,
That's fine, Your Honor.
court will accept the request for continuance until 4:10 at 9. Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Judge, the next one is
Fane.
sorry. Before the court on 22 CF 1937. Yes, President, approaching Judge, I would advise Mr. Fane of the state's counteroffer at this time. He's not inclined to accept this. I think we're going to need to do deposition of the officer in question. So I'd ask to continue this one. Cyclops Blue, the state's.
Is certain.
Yeah, so Your Honor, if the record can show that I've just provided Mr. Harper with a notice of intent to seek HFO sentencing in Stoddard.
Okay. And so we will, do you anticipate that with this deposition, which you should be able to get in before the next cycle, that this will be the last continuance?
That's fine, Judge.
State?
That's fine, Your Honor.
Okay, so we'll let the clerk's minutes reflect this will be the last continuance. Very good. Thank you very much. We'll come back on April 10th and 9th. Anthony Fanning.
Judge, I believe if the clerk can verify this particular case was dismissed, no cross.
I have a no cost on 22 CF 1311.
I'm sorry. What was the number?
22 CF 1311.
See, my number on the docket is 3111.
That's an additional
That might-
case, and that is not no cost.
Okay,
I'll
that's
speak with,
great. Okay.
I'll speak with Ms. Sandler. I think that it was the intent to have them all. No cross. But I'll, if we can set a control date of, I'm fine with the next docket date, Judge.
Okay, let's just do docket. Docket 220. Is there a waiver or is you thought it was null cross, so.
Yes, sir.
But the 3111, that's not been null crossed? Okay. Very good.
Your Honor, I can actually make an oral announcement in this case. That's fine. I'm sorry, I'm just catching up on
That's
covering
all
up for
right.
Ms. Sandler.
No,
So the state would announce a no cross in this case. The defendant is unfortunately deceased.
Okay. Very good.
The next one, Judge, is Leah Fischels Clayton. Judge, I called for her this morning. She was not present. If I can pass her, see if she shows up. The next one is Dennis Foster. Vice President approaching. Judge, I may approach.
You may. So the defense is requesting a continuance until the next cycle, 4/11?
410, Judge. Yes.
4/10. I've been saying 4/10 all day.
And that's
We'll continue until April 10th, 4/10, and 9 a.m.
Yes, sir. And for the record, that's 22 CF 813 and 22 CF 2087.
Correct.
The next one that I have is Parker Gurria. He is President approaching. He's before the court on 20 CF 2010, 20 CF 2356, and 21 CF 2985. The state has made an amended offer. I think my client's inclined to accept that. If I can set this for docket day to finalize all the terms, and I think there's one particular issue still outstanding, we will resolve it on that day.
Very good. So we'll come back for docket day on 2/20 next Monday at 9 a.m.
Next judge is Valerie Granger. She is President approaching before the court on 22 CF 2199. Judge, likewise, the state and I have been in communication about her case, and we're going to, I think there was one particular issue, a conviction as opposed to withhold, but we're going to bring her back on 220 for a plea.
Very good. We'll come back on 2/20 docket day for a plea.
The next one, Judge, is Emily Hall. Ms. Hall is President and approaching. She's before the court on 22 CF 1756. Judge, if we can bring her back on docket day, I think it's possible we can resolve it on that date.
State, okay?
Yes, Your Honor, that's fine.
Okay. Come back on 2/20.
The next one I have is Cameron Haynes. He is President approaching. He's before the court on 22 CF 1416. Mr. Haynes has also got a new law violation set for tomorrow, plea day, for which he is unrepresented. I've been in contact with the state. We're hoping to resolve both this case and that case. If I can bring him back on 2/20, I'm anticipating that we'll resolve both at that time.
Very good. We'll come back on docket day 2/20, 9 a.m. for plea.
The next one I have, Judge, is Hans Human. I have not seen him, Judge, if I can pass his case. The next one is Renwick Keel. Likewise, Judge, he's not here this morning. If I can pass his case as well, see if he shows up. Next is Silu King. He is President approaching. He's before the court on 22 CF 478. Judge, we're going to ask to leave this set for plea or trial.
Okay. Come back on docket day 2/20, 9 a.m. plea or trial. Very good. Thank you.
Next one I have, Judge, is Jeremy Knox. He's President approaching. He's before the court on 22 CF 47. Judge, if we can set him for plea or continue, I'm hopeful we can come to a resolution this cycle.
I would note that the last continuance was a last continuance.
If, I'm fine with clear trial, Judge, so we can get a resolution this cycle.
Okay. Docket day 220
So next
at
one.
9 a.m.
The next one, Judge, is James Little, 21 CF 1961. There's a waiver of appearances on his case. Judge, he's still in an inpatient treatment program in Pensacola. I've been in communication with him, and I think that we're going to have a resolution next cycle. He should be completed with that.
Stay okay?
Yes, Judge, that's fine.
Continue this until 4/10, April 10th at 9 a.m.
The next one I have, Judge, is Alyssa Margraf, 21 CF 2770. There's a waiver of appearance in her case. Judge, I've spoken with the states, and they've conveyed to me an amended offer. I think my client's inclined to accept that. She's not here today, but she will be present on docket day for a plea.
Okay. So we'll come back on docket day 220 for plea.
Yes, sir. The next one is Lewis Marler. He's present and approaching 22 CF 2393. Judge, I've spoken to the state about filing a motion to suppress in this particular case. I'd ask to set this for 410 so I can get that filed and the hearing date set.
Very good. Continue to 4:10, 9 a.m.
The next one I have, Judge, is Marlon Marshall. There should be a waiver of appearance in his case. I've been speaking with the states, and they've conveyed to me a misdemeanor offer. My client's advised that he's going to take that. I'd like to bring him back on docket day for a plea.
Very good. We'll come back for docket day on 220 for plea.
And that was 21 CF 508.
Correct.
Did you say waiver, sir?
Yes. And the next one is Logan McPherson. There's also a waiver of appearance in his case. He's before the court on 21 CF 2742. Judge, I've spoken with the state. I believe we've got a misdemeanor resolution of this case as well. He is actually out of state, so I'm going to be mailing it to him, or I'm going to be emailing it to him, and hopefully he can scan it and return it to me, but I'm hopeful we can get that done by 220 as well.
Okay. We'll come back for docket day 220 for, I'm just going to say for plea, but hopefully a little already gets in filed or whatever.
Yes, sir. The next one is John Groot. Judge, we had Mr. Groot's screened for drug courts. He was conditionally accepted, but some of the issues that arose made them see if he's suitable as well for mental health courts. And so I would ask to continue this one last cycle to see if I can get him screened for mental health court, and then he will probably enter one of those two.
Very good. These are both good programs, so glad you're seeking those out. We'll continue it until April 10th, 9 a.m.
And that was 21 CF 3104. The next one, Judge, is Jamie Rose. She's present and approaching. 22 CF 2145. Judge, she has a similar traffic stop as Mr. Marler earlier. I've spoken with the states. I'm going to be writing a motion to suppress, and I'll be asking that this be set for 410 so I can get a hearing date.
State, okay?
Yes, sir, that's fine.
Continue it for 410.
The next one I have, Judge, is Teron Twitty. He is present and approaching. Judge, I've spoken with the state on this case. I think we're going to leave this set for plea or trial.
Your Honor, I should have done this on the last trial setting, so I actually remember to do it on this one. The current offer to Mr. Twitty is withhold and 3 years probation. Of course, if that offer isn't extended at dock day, it will be revoked upon ongoing trial.
Okay, very good.
Judge, I did see that Ms. Beard came in, Chandra Beard. She was number 136 on the docket. Judge, I was going to ask if we could bring her back on docket day for a possible plea. I've conveyed a counteroffer to the state. Initially denied it, and I made an amended counteroffer.
Okay. So docket day 220. So Monday, next Monday, 9 a.m. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. That's all I have at the moment.
Mr. Harper, would you and one of the state attorneys, anybody, general, Mr. Gates?
Yes, Your Honor.
You ready to go?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
I'm
Hold on
only
a
going to
second.
call the people
Hold on
up
a
there.
second. Let me get through Mr. Medina's here.
Yes, Your Honor. I'm only say the people that are in the courtroom have a waiver, if they've been excused, I'm not going to call them, Your Honor.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Hold on a second. You can announce, but then just let me know if you got a waiver.
Yes, Your
And
Honor.
then we'll pass over. I'm not pass over, but that won't be an issue.
Yes, Your Honor. I'm going to start with first Rebecca Farakis.
Okay?
After that will be Robert Garcia. This is Ms. Farakis before the court. We have a plea agreement that's been signed. However, she's got some living arrangements, is the best way I'll describe it, that she's working through. If we can bring her back March 14th for a plea. Forkis.
178. Okay, so we will continue to the miscellaneous date on March 14th
Yes, Your Honor.
at 9 a.m.
Yes, Your Honor.
for plea.
Next I've got is going to be Robert Garcia, Your Honor. That'll be followed by Kenneth Gilman. Your Honor, this is Mr. Garcia before the court. If we could continue his case to the April the 10th date, my anticipation is the state is evaluating this case for a possible resolution.
State,
Without objection, Your Honor.
very good, this is a recent case, so we'll
Yes, Your Honor.
continue it until 4:10.
Next, Your Honor, is Kenneth Gilman. That'll be followed by Tony Hazelwood.
Kenneth Gilman. Mr. Gilman's there, Your Honor.
Looks like he's asleep, so I will just skip him for now.
Tony Hazelwood, Your Honor.
Your Honor, this is Ms. Hazelwood before the court. We actually have two cases on the docket. I don't know if the court has seen that.
That's correct.
Recently transferred down from Rescue. I have almost nothing in that file, given
So
that.
let's get the numbers, just to make sure we're all,
Yes, Your Honor. I have 21 CF 1412.
is that the new one? No.
That is the old one, Your Honor. It's a PTI recall. That's why it's an older case.
Gotcha.
And then 23 CF 136.
That's the recent transfer.
Yes, Your Honor. I'd like to continue Ms. Hazelwood's cases so that I can get a chance to figure out what's going on with the new case.
Stay okay.
Without objection, Your Honor.
We'll continue both those cases until April 10th, 9 a.m.
Your Honor, next, Mr. Gilman awake again. I'll call Mr. Gilman and then we'll go to Keon Hopkins.
And this is Mr. Gilman before the court. The state and I have worked out a plea agreement. Part of that included Mr. Gilman paying the restitution up front. Once we can get that set with the clerk's office, they'll make those payments with the clerk's office, and then we have a resolution. We can do April the 10th.
Okay.
No objection.
We'll continue to April the 10th for a resolution. Very good.
Your Honor, next is going to be Keon Hopkins. After Mr. Hopkins will be Alicia Irby.
We have a plea agreement to be filed in Mr. Hopkins' case, Your Honor. It'll be a plea to misdemeanor probation. He'll be monitored by JCS.
If I can approach, Your Honor.
You may.
There'll be no score sheet because this is a misdemeanor plea.
Thank you.
First one, we love it, Your Honor.
Would you announce the terms?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Hopkins will be entering a plea of no contest to a lesser included offense in count 1 of the information of improper exhibition of a weapon, count 2 as charged. It's going to be withhold of adjudication, placed on 11 months, 29 days of probation consecutive for a total of 2 years. That'll be monitored through JCS online. He does live out of state. $866 in court cost, $150 public defender fee, required to do an anger management course. No contact with Mr. Billy Wayne Denzi. No trespassing at 302 Santa Rosa Boulevard, Fort Walton Beach, Florida, 32548. No objection to transferring probation to Georgia, where Mr. Hopkins is a legal resident.
Very good. Mr. Hopkins, would you please raise your right hand, sir? Do you swear or affirm the information you're about to provide this court is the truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Slide over there so you can speak into that mic. Slide over there. So, Mr. Hopkins, you heard your attorney state the terms of your plea agreement, and I see that those same terms are contained in the written plea agreement that you've signed.
Yes,
Is his rendition in the written plea agreement what your understanding is, and are you agreeing to that here today?
yes,
And you understand that by entering into this plea agreement, you're waiving some valuable legal rights, the right to go to a trial and a hearing and contest all this, and this will be a final resolution in your case. Do you understand that?
yes,
Did anybody promise you anything other than what's contained in this plea agreement, or threaten or coerce you to get you to enter into this?
no,
Okay. You've had all your legal questions answered by your attorney?
yes,
Very good. Based upon that testimony, the court will accept your plea. There'll be a withhold of adjudication on the lesser included improper exhibition of weapons. Do we need a statutory cite for the court? Can you give me a?
Sorry, I'm caught off guard, Your Honor.
That's all right.
That's 790.10, Your Honor.
Thank you. You got it. You got it.
Yes, Your Honor. I'll
Okay.
start, Mr. Medina made us a cheat sheet. I'll start keeping it with me.
Okay. The cheat sheets are very important. Okay, so we'll have, based upon that, the withhold adjudication on those two charges, the court will, is there an adjudication of guilt on these two?
Withhold, Your Honor.
Withhold adjudication right here, first sentence. And you'll have basically 29 days probation consecutive for a total of, actually, it's 2 days short of 2 years,
Yes, Your Honor.
but approximately 2 years with the court costs. As a part of that, you also have to attend this anger management course. You understand that? And
Yes.
if you're going to be up in Georgia, you probably aren't going to have an issue with this, but you can have no contact with Billy Wayne Densley, no trespassing on the 302 Santa Rosa Boulevard. You understand that?
yes,
Okay. And that's one side. Even if Mr. Densley contacts you, you got to stay away from him. It's your obligation. Okay, I don't know all the situations, so I'm just got to tell you what's out there. So, and the court will have no objection to transferring the probation, but you have to go through certain steps.
Which is the issue, Your Honor.
Well, it's a GCS, so
if we do online reporting, he just needs to make that appointment on the way to the airport.
Okay, and so we're ordering the online reporting as well. $50 cost of supervision, and the other court costs contained in here.
Thank you.
Anything else?
They are.
I did that.
Do we need fingerprints? Your next I've got is Miss Irby. Miss Irby will follow by Marquezi, here, Kayla Tidwell, Your Honor.
Okay.
Your Honor, this is Miss Irby before the court. We have a plea agreement to be filed in her case. It's going to be a plea to a lesser included offense of misdemeanor petty theft. Your Honor, may I approach?
You may.
Let me notice the court sheet necessary.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Announce,
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Irby will be entering a plea of no contest to a lesser included offense of petty theft. It should be withhold adjudication, placed on 11 months, 29 days probation through state probation. We're going to waive her supervision fees, $270 court costs, $150 public defender fee, reserve over restitution to Miss Bethany Van Geisen, no contact with Miss Bethany Van Geisen, and to complete the anti-theft course online, Your Honor.
very good. Ms. Irby, would you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear or affirm the information you're about to provide this court is the truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so you heard your attorney state the terms of your plea agreement. I see those same terms are contained in the written plea agreement.
Yes, sir.
And that you have, let me check. You have signed it, but I don't think you're signing it.
I may not have, Your Honor.
That's all right.
I apologize.
That's all right. So, just want to make sure that you're entering into this freely and voluntarily. That's the purpose of my question. So, have you had a chance to go over this plea agreement
Yes, sir.
in detail with your attorney and understand,
Yes,
waiving the right to go to the trial, final resolution of your case? Believe it's in your best interest to enter into this?
Yes.
You understand that this, now the restitution, reserve over restitution, the way it's worded is a little bit vague.
Yes, Your Honor.
So have we acknowledged that there's restitution?
Yes, Your
Or
Honor.
is there a time limit by which the state has to file something? I
No,
mean,
Your Honor, if the court remembers about a month ago, Ms. Leone from the state attorney's office had the case law on point on that basically said if the court orders restitution, during the term of supervision, they can set a hearing, which is what I expect the state to do here.
okay, so it's during the term of the,
Yes, Your Honor.
okay. So if they don't complete it, they don't file something within the term, they waive it.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and everybody's aware of that. So are you aware of that, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so there might be some restitution that'll be a part of that, but if they do file something, you disagree with it, your attorney can fight it. So that's not we're not just saying they file it, you gotta do it.
Okay.
It could be, you could be disagreed with, you might have to have a hearing and whatnot. But importantly, the no contact with Miss Van Geisen, very important. One side, you heard me say it to the other attorney. So even if, again, don't know the relationship, but even if she reached out to you, you'd be in violation, so stay away from her, okay? Okay. And the anti-theft course online, of course, that's important, okay? Very good. Any questions?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The last I've got is going to be Kayla Tidwell. Ms. Tidwell is right here. You know, we have Ms. Tidwell before the court, 3 different cases. 21 CF 2675, 21 CF 2676, 22 CF 1536. We have a plea agreement to be filed that's going to cover the cases before the court. May I approach?
You may.
Your Honor, I have a score sheet printed out in our office downstairs. I'm just going to have to bring it up to the court and break.
Okay.
Great copies always. I forget on that, Your Honor.
Did you announce?
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Tidwell will be entering a plea of no contest in case number 21 CF 2675 as charged. The state's agreed to dismiss 21 CF 2676 in exchange for a plea to the other cases. And a 22 CF 1536 should be entering a plea of no contest to the lesser included offense of felony battery. We're going to withhold on all counts and cases. And 21 CF 2675 should be placed on 3 years of probation concurrent, waive cost of supervision, $515 court costs, $150 public defender fee, forfeit the firearm, 60 hours community service work. And 22 CF 1536, 3 years of probation concurrent, waive supervision fees, $967 court costs, $100 public defender fee, no contact with Ms. Deja Nicole Hart, may not possess any weapons, anger
Is that
management.
something that's unique to this plea agreement, or is that an automatic for a felony?
It should be, it really is any part of any felony plea. State probation does not allow any weapons of any kind. However, the state wanted me to make sure that that was included.
Emphasized.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure, that was my understanding as well.
Anger management course, and then a reserve over any restitution to Ms. Deja Hart, Your Honor.
Okay. Would the state and the defense approach?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Tidwell, would you raise your right hand, please?
Raise your hand.
Raise your right hand. You swear or affirm the information you're about to provide this court is the truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God. You heard your attorney state the terms of your plea agreement, and I see those same people. Put your hand up. And I also see that the terms of the plea agreement are contained in the written sentencing agreement. Have you, which you've signed, have you gone over this with your attorney in detail and made sure you had all your legal questions? I see that a lot of these have check marks next to them. I assume that's because you were going over it with your attorney?
Yes, sir.
I don't want to make that assumption, but it looked like some activity was going on with this plea agreement, and that's important because we want you to understand what you're dealing with, because you're giving up some valuable legal rights, right, to go to a trial, to contest all these things. You understand that? You believe it's in your best interest to enter into this plea here today?
Yes, sir.
And you've had all your legal questioning. You believe you've gotten good legal representation on this case?
Yes, sir.
Any questions regarding the plea? Based upon that testimony, the court will accept the pleas on the carrying a concealed weapon and the lesser included felony battery charges. The court will sentence you to 36 months probation in each of the 2 cases. Those will be concurrent. That means they're going to run at the same time. The court will waive the cost of supervision. There's a number of court costs and fees. You must forfeit your firearm and do some community service work and take an anger management course. And there's also the reserving on the restitution to Ms. Deja Hart. You understand that? So if they do raise an issue of restitution, your attorneys explain to you, You can fight it, you don't have to just agree to it. But there is that possibility, and you just want to, that won't affect the plea if there's restitution involved. Okay, you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any question concerning any of this? Okay. 36 months probation, a long time. This is just the beginning. Please take it serious. I don't want you to end up a statistic. A lot of statistics, people start probation, don't finish it. That's bad, because if you stop, if you don't finish probation, generally means you spend some time somewhere. Don't want that, okay? So take this serious, and you can get past it, okay?
Right, this is too long.
So you'll, if you just go ahead and send me the sentencing guidelines, and I'll sign it.
Ms. Mosso actually went down and grabbed them, so I should have them to the court here in just a couple minutes.
Okay. Is that all, Mr. Gates?
That's all that I have that's in the courtroom, Your Honor. I don't want to waste too much time, but we can address it later.
Okay, we're trying to get rid of the rest, okay? Well, that's very, very nice of you. Mr. Medina?
Thank you, Your Honor. I would like to call Charles Abraham first, and then David A. Adams.
Okay,
Charles Daniel Abraham is approaching in 22 CF 1989. We have a proposed plea agreement that he needs some time to think about. I'm asking to have him return on docket day, a week from today, for plea or continued.
okay. State?
You're right, that's what I'm mistaken.
If this is a continuance, would it be the last continuance?
I believe so, Your Honor. We've done depositions. I anticipate that the case is going to resolve. And if we don't for some reason, then it should be ready for trial next time.
That's fine with the state here.
Very good, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, after Mr. David Tyrone A. Adams is Kyla Delaney Ahern. Your Honor, David Tyrone Adams is before the court in 22 CF 2573. He and I need to meet to go over depositions and some evaluation that I have made of the case. I don't think we need a full cycle. My problem is with my schedule, I can't fit in client meetings this week prior to docket day. Could we do some sort of a March 14th type continuance, Your Honor? I don't hate to load up the miscellaneous day, but if we could put them on the morning of March 14th, that should give us time to meet.
Is there an offer on the table? I assume there is.
That, I think there would have to be some negotiation, Your Honor. There is an offer on the table, but I need to have him assess the situation, and we may be counter-offering.
Okay, so that means you don't want to tell me what it is?
If the court wants to enter the negotiations,
I don't want to enter the negotiation. I didn't ask to enter the negotiation. I asked you to tell me whether there was an offer and what it was.
okay, the offer, to my
I
knowledge.
don't enter into negotiation, just for the record, counsel, ever.
Okay. Your Honor, the offer of the state is 3 years probation with an adjudication of guilt on its possession of controlled substance, count 1, and paraphernalia, count 2. However, to his credit, he wants to get evaluated for Keaton. I think that would certainly be good for society, and so that very well may change the state's position.
Very good. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So we'll come back. Let's see, we gotta find a date. What's March 21st look like?
I don't know that you have any cases set yet.
Okay, so we'll come back March 21st in the morning, 9 a.m.
Yes, make an appointment, okay? Right away. Thank you. Your Honor, after Miss Ahern will be Miss Alderman Ford, Carly Alderman Ford. Your Honor, Kyla Delaney Rainey Ahern, A-H-E-R-N, is before the court in 21 CF 2751 and 21 CF 3012. This was a PTI recall situation. She has sent us information passing, being negative on urinalysis. She's involved in her substance abuse evaluation treatment. She lives in Mississippi with her mother. And she represents that if she has a continuance, she should be able to complete the remaining courses by next cycle. I am hoping that the state won't object to that.
No, I don't.
Court will continue to the next cycle, come back on April 10th, 9 a.m.
And just for the court's awareness, we did need I may be confusing that with another case, Your Honor. So I apologize. You're free. Not now. Call. After Ms. Alderman Ford is Keely Marie Annan. Your Honor, Carly Ray Alderman Ford is before the court in 22 CF 2665 and 22 CF 2927. And I had confused my notes. She, in her two cases, does need FDLE chemical analysis. So we're awaiting that in both those cases. She also represents that she's getting a private lawyer. I don't know if the court wants to put that on a short turnaround to see if she actually does get a private lawyer in a reasonable time frame, but I'm prepared to go forward if I need to, but we do need FDLE, and she doesn't want to do a resolution right now.
Sure. When do we have any sense for when the FDLE report will come back?
Your Honor, this is a November arrest, and I don't think it's even been assigned to an analyst yet, but I will check on it. And Mr. Medina, I think I already asked for that to be done. I can't swear to it. So.
I think one of them was October, and then I think there was another one. November, October, November, so that's not very long these days for FDLE.
Sure. Ms. Alderman Ford, when you're wanting to hire a private counsel?
Yes, sir.
Do you have some sense for when that would occur?
It'll probably take me like a week, 2 weeks.
Okay. So with that information, what do you suggest?
I suggest.
I mean, we can come back on a regular cycle. I don't have a problem with that.
Does the state have any feel for if, I would think if new counsel comes on board, he or she might want FDLE, so I would think a full cycle continuance would be appropriate, Your Honor.
Okay, we'll come back in 10 days. One thing I would ask Ms. Alderman Ford is that if you do hire counsel, either have your attorney or you call Mr. Medina and let him know.
Yes, sir.
Because he's responsible for this case until somebody substitutes for him.
Yes, sir.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And he takes his responsibility seriously, so he doesn't need to be out there, working and then somebody else has the case, okay?
Yes, Your Honor, is the court saying April 10th for her?
Yes.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. Thank you.
On both cases. Did we announce both of them?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Your Honor, after Keely Annan is Nathan Atkins. Your Honor, Keely Marie Annan is before the court. This is a situation where she does need to meet with me, but we do need FDLE chemical analysis. I'm not sure the date of the incident, Your Honor. I do believe that it would be appropriate to do a continuance next cycle.
State.
Your Honor, I don't oppose a continuance to next cycle, and I can tell the court that as of January the 25th, there was not a report from the Florida Department of Law Enforcement.
Okay, well, certainly, obviously, is necessary, so we will continue this till the next cycle, April 10th, 9 a.m. Stay in touch with your attorney in the meantime, okay?
Yes, sir.
And Your Honor, if the court would direct or at least strongly suggest to her that she set up a meeting as soon as possible.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor. Okay, well, you can set it one. Okay, thank you. After Nathan Atkins is Tyler Autry. Your Honor, for Nathan Atkins, this is, he had a capious withdrawn. I do need to meet with him. we're probably going to be reaching out to the state attorney's office about his communications with the alleged victim. You're from Texas. Maybe if we could continue this for a shorter duration than the full cycle, we could perhaps work it on March 21st. He's never been in trouble before, Your Honor, and this incident was, I think it was, when was this?
September.
October?
September.
Oh, September, yeah, it's been going on a while, Your Honor, but,
who's the state attorney?
That's fine.
Did you just say something about the defendant's contact with the alleged victim? What
no,
was
Your
that?
Honor. What I was saying is that the state attorney's office needed to have additional victim contact about a proposal that we made
Correct.
for resolving the case.
Just to be clear, I have had contact with the victim, but I have not had contact with the victim about this new proposal that Mr. Medina made to me. So
Okay.
I will, in the interim, do.
But I thought you said something about the defendant, and
I did.
that's strictly.
I apologize,
Okay,
Your
that's
Honor.
all right. I may have misheard you. That's why I just asked the question. So
I very well
Sound like
misstated.
Ms. Sharp was misheard you too, but that's fine. That's why we're having this.
The state is going to be talking to the victim.
Sure, good. Okay, so we'll come back March 21st at 9 a.m. on the miscellaneous docket.
Yes.
Stay in contact with your attorney.
And I'm actually not in the week of the March 14th, so Mr. Gates reminded me I don't want to schedule anything on the 14th anyway. So.
Okay, we'll try.
Thank you. March 21st. Thank you.
Hopefully you're doing something fun, Mr.
I
McDaniel.
sure am, Your Honor. Your Honor, after Mr. Autry will be Daniel Baker. Excuse me, sir. Your Honor, Mr. Autry has represented to me that you're no longer going to hire a private lawyer. That's right. And Your Honor, I've reached out to the state, but it needs to evaluate the situation. This is Autry. He's a first-time offender, Your Honor. This is a situation where he's asking for a misdemeanor deal. He and his family are down from North Carolina to try to address the case, but I don't think it's going to be addressable today. We did need discovery and evidence of problems to do a first-time out continuance, Your Honor. Per cycle.
Go ahead.
So I would request continue to April 10, Your Honor.
Continue to April 10th.
Thank you, Your Honor. 9 o'clock, yes.
9 o'clock. Would Mr. Medina and Ms. Sharp come forward just for a second?
Your Honor, after Daniel L. Baker, Andrea Boer,
Daniel Baker.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Daniel L. Baker has 2 cases, 22 CF 2674 and 22 CF 2726. They're both controlled substance cases. The 2674 case is the first time up. The other one apparently has a public defender assigned in late November. We need FDLE in both cases. I've had a brief chat with him. He does need to set up a meeting to go over the situations in more detail. I would ask for a full continuance, April 10th.
State okay?
No objection, Your Honor.
Court will continue this to the next cycle, April 10th at 9 a.m.
Thank you, Your Honor. After Ms. Bohr, is Andrea Bohr, she may not be here, B-O-E-R, she's not here, Your Honor, so I'll see it. Your Honor, next is Joseph Boone. After Mr. Boone is Alonzo Borum. Your Honor, Mr. Joseph Boone is before the court in 22 CF 1886. We are waiting for some additional discovery, such as video. I think this was a Florida Highway Patrol situation, and sometimes it's a little slower to get video out of them, and we will be setting depositions as needed this cycle. We do have some negotiations that have been in the works today, but we don't have a resolution at this time. He is from Cape Coral, and he's wearing a strand monitor, so it's in his best interest to resolve this. The state has extended a revised offer that would involve 30 days jail, which would be the minimum jail for this kind of situation. But he needs to talk it over with his family. So I think a March 21st would give us enough time, but I don't want to load up a miscellaneous date. If we can't do that, we could do April 10, if that's okay.
We can do it March 21st if the state feels like there'd be something positive that might happen.
Let's set. I might need to set depositions. I think that might take more time. Let's do April 10, and we'll set.
Okay, we'll come back on April 10th, 9 a.m.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Alonzo Borum.
Yes, after Mr. Borum will be Jamie Caldwell. We've done some waivers, so I'm skipping the ones with some waivers.
I understand. Thank you.
Your Honor, Mr. Alonzo Borum is before the court in 22 CF 1169. Discussed with him getting evaluated for 2 specialty courts, mental health court and drug court. He is going to be setting appointments with those representatives. And, I think we probably need to do a shorter than a full cycle. I would ask for March 21st continuance.
Very good. We'll continue to March 21st at 9 a.m.
Got it. Thank you. Make sure to set those appointments. Okay. Your Honor, after Caldwell is Jimmy Case. Your Honor, you're Jamie Caldwell, right? Okay. Your Honor, Jamie Caldwell is before the court in 22 CF 2463. I'm asking to continue his case to next cycle. It's the first time up. The discovery issues.
State.
Your Honor, that is no objection from the state.
And the state has made a PTI offer to him, but he and I need to discuss his options because he is a alleged first-time offender.
Okay, we'll continue until April 10th at 9 a.m.
Okay.
Be in touch with your attorney in the interim.
After Mr. Caldwell, after Jimmy Case will be Reginald Casper.
What time did you say?
9 a.m.
9 a.m.
Okay. I'm just giving this gentleman a card, Ron. Oh, thank you. Your Honor, after, well, we've got, I think I already said that, but,
Jimmy Case, 22 CF 1820.
yes, Your Honor, and then Virginia Lee Cochran.
Okay.
Your Honor, Mr. Case is before the court and on a, it's not the first time. For a while, he had been considering getting private counsel. That frankly slows things down when the clients don't meet with me to assess the situation. But I think that we will probably be able to work the case out. He's given me, and I relayed to the state today, a counter offer. So with a couple of options, and so the state will be looking that over. Could we just do a March 21st for him, Your Honor?
Very good.
You understand?
So March 21st at 9 a.m.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes, thank you.
Appreciate it. After Virginia Lee oh, I'm sorry, I missed you. I didn't mean to do that, Mr. Castor, you're next, and then it'll be Cochran.
Reginald Castor,
Yes, Your Honor. I'm asking,
22 CF 2850.
yes, Your Honor, I think we're working his case out. He just needs to come back in a time, a chance to write it out and make sure it's what he wants to do. But I think we have an agreement. So if we could have him return docket date for a plea or continue.
And we'll come back on 220.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
After Ms. Cochran will be Gregory Cofield. Your Honor, Ms. Virginia Lee Cochran is before the court in 22 CF 1744. A misdemeanor plea deal is anticipated. It's been discussed with her grandmother, so hopefully we can get that worked out a week from today, Your Honor.
Okay, so we'll come back on docket date 220 for a plea.
Thank you, Your Honor. Next is after Ms. Caulfield will be Philip Dawn. Gregory Lynn Cofield is before the court in 22 CF 377 and 22 CF 2028. And Your Honor, the state has, in good faith, responded to what was a counteroffer from Mr. Cofield. He is informed me this morning that he would rather me proceed with a motion to suppress. I do think that I certainly have a good faith motion to suppress, and I don't want to force anything on him, and I think that's, he believes it's in his best interest, so I will prepare a motion to suppress. We will need a control date, but I will get that filed as soon as possible, Your Honor. This has to do with whether the fact that he was under probation, whether that gave a law enforcement officer the right to have probable cause just based on being on probation. So it's a pretty simple legal issue.
Okay, so we'll continue this until the next cycle on 410, and hopefully the motion is suppressed as soon as you get it scheduled and get it filed, we'll get it scheduled, and maybe we'll have it done before the 10th.
Yes, Your Honor.
Before the 10th of April.
I'll be doing that as soon as possible. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
After Mr. Philip Dawn will be Michael Kevin Daly. Philip Randall Dawn is before the court in 22 CF 1616. He's been keeping me well informed about the proactive measures that he is undertaking, and I'm happy to inform Ms. Christine Basso of those measures. I would ask for a full cycle continuance. He's involved in some very serious measures to help the situation.
There's no objection, Your Honor, and then when it's appropriate, if you share the information with me so we can
Yes.
proceed on this case.
Yes, ma'am. So I would ask to do a full cycle continuance. And I can approach with Ms. Basso if that would help. If otherwise, I believe it was the time well served to give until April 10th.
Okay. States in agreement.
Yes, Your Honor, we have been in contact with Mr. Medina, and we are familiar with what Mr. Dawn is working on at the moment.
Very good.
April 10th. Thank you. Keep me up to date, okay? Michael Daly, and after Mr. Daly will be Dylan Daniels, I think. Or if Dylan Daniels isn't here, Eric Davis. And if Eric Davis isn't here, it'll be Carissa DeBenedetto. Your Honor, Michael Kevin Daly is before the court in 22 CF 1020. Last time he was medically unavailable. His last court appearance, the state agreed to continue it. His alleged victim, they've had a terrible loss in his family of his twin brother. He says that his mother wants to reach out to the state. He lives with the mother. It's not a no-contact situation, so I've indicated to him that we could have him return on docket day if the alleged victim's mother reached out and the state wanted to change its position, it could. Otherwise, we have a misdemeanor deal worked out that could be entered on a week from today.
Okay, sounds like a plan. We'll come back on docket day and see where things are at.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
After Ms. Carissa Benedetto will be, and I apologize for mispronouncing. I didn't mean to be rude. Okay, will be Miracle Disselhoff. Carissa Benedetto, 22 CF 3092. Your Honor, she represents to me that there is maybe some factual information I need to give the state about her not being on Santa Rosa County probation. I don't know if that's going to change the position of the state. I don't think we need a full cycle continuance. I would think we should be able to have some negotiations come to fruition if they are by March 21st, if that's okay.
State,
That time with the state, Your Honor.
we'll continue until March 21st at 9 a.m.
Yes, there also is FDLE that's outstanding. Well, you never know how long it's going to take. March 21st. Yeah.
Miracle Disseldorf.
Disselhoff, Your Honor.
Disselhoff.
And after Ms. Disselhoff will be Patrick Doherty. Your Honor, Ms. Miracle Quizandra Disselhoff before the court in 22 CF 2202. She is ready, willing, and I think able to make a significant and full restitution payment to the state. We have drafted a memorandum for restitution with the clerk's office that the state is reviewing. We should get that approved very soon. Hopefully, full payment will be made to the alleged victim, and we'll hopefully get a very expeditious resolution thereafter, or we may be able to work something out because the state's in contact or trying to contact the alleged victim. Do you think we need to do full cycle or return docket day?
I think that would.
Come back in a week, if that's okay with the court. Return docket day for clear continue. Meanwhile,
Docket day at 9 a.m.
hopefully the state will be approving the memorandum with the clerk and she can get a payment real quick, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you.
Patrick Doherty's before the court, Your Honor, and he does need to meet with the public defender's office. I think there are some discovery issues that are outstanding, so I think it's appropriate to continue the cases, but I do need to go over the cases with him. There's a 24 months DOC offer. There's been an habitual felony offender sentencing notice given, and basically I need to get some direction from him. I can undertake depositions. I think we have FDLE in one of the cases. I'm trying to see if we have it in both of the cases. I don't think we have it in the second case. So I think it'd be appropriate to at least temporarily move the cases in tandem. And so I would ask for an April 10th continuance with the idea that we'll be, as much as possible, getting ready with depositions to be prepared for trial. I don't want to represent that it'll absolutely be the last time, because it might need to slip one more after that, if absolutely necessary.
State?
Your Honor, that's fine with the state.
We'll provide the continuance till 4:10. Hopefully, at least we'll make some significant progress on the discovery.
And do you have my card? I'm giving him my card, Your Honor.
Very good.
After Mr. Doherty is Wade Lee Downing and then James Dubiak. Your Honor, Mr. Downing is before the court in 22, I think it's 22 CF 2407.
Correct.
And I think we're going to be able to work out a plea deal next, this coming docket day, a week from today. He has been accepted at Haven House.
Yes, sir.
And so bed's available for him, and we're looking forward to a resolution at that time so we can take advantage of the treatment.
Okay, we'll come back on docket day on 2/20, 9 a.m.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you. After Mr. Dubiak will be Bungle Wire. Your Honor, Mr. Dubiak is asking to continue his
Case 22 CF 2477.
Thank you, Your Honor. I apologize. There is some pretty important video that's maybe not always so important, but the booking video, and there was also a scanning video, hopefully available, that has to do with the charge, and we haven't been able to get that yet. I'm hoping we'll get that, and that will be important to his case. I think that we probably need to give the state some more opportunity to look into that issue. I would ask for a full cycle continuance. It will be it should be a fairly routine matter to follow up with any additional depositions as soon as I can get the video and review it with him.
Is that forthcoming, the video? I mean, is that?
Your Honor, I have sent emails to try to get it, and I will let Mr. Medina know the response to those emails.
Your Honor, if I might address to not trying to rush to the state's defense when it didn't ask me to, but the booking video should be pretty routine. With respect to scanning video, I think that might involve special security cameras at the jail, and that might be a little more complicated. So I understand it might take a while for the state to sort that out.
Okay. Appreciate that clarification.
Thank you. You can talk to me and we'll decide if you want to say something. Thank you. Your Honor, yes, Your Honor. After Ms. Dwyer will be Kendall Eccles. Your Honor, Bungle Chantium Dwyer is before the court in 22 CF 897. This is a significant restitution situation where she's been indicating her willingness to cooperate in addressing a restitution issue. Both Ms. Dwyer and her, basically she's a member of the Thai community, the alleged victim's a member of the Thai community, so there's some language difficulties in the state having alleged victim feedback, but I think that if we do a full cycle continuance, hopefully we'll get a resolution. Do you think that we should do a full cycle?
I think we should do a full cycle, Your Honor. Speaking with the victim requires me to call her in person because we have to use language line to find a Thai interpreter. There's none that I know of in town, so.
And she's elderly too, I think.
She's elderly.
There's lots of Thai interpreters. It's just a matter of getting one that's officially documented.
Well, yeah, we use
I
language.
understand what you're saying.
We use language line, and to be honest with Your Honor, we have started for them to transfer someone that speaks Thai and then gotten hung up on, and that's happened several times.
And with
Several times, no.
And with an elderly alleged victim, we try as much as possible to avoid the inconvenience of the deposition. So that's, she's been in court numerous times.
I understand.
Wants to work with the state.
Okay, so we'll come back on 410.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
After, yes, ma'am. After Mr. Eccles will be Tanya Emery. Mr. Eccles, he was here, Judge. I don't know if he had some confusion. He may have stepped out. Can we get Tanya Emery? And then after him, her will be Michael Bernard Evans. If he's not here, Abraham Alex Evans. And if he's not here, Your Honor, I'll have to check my notes because there may be some waivers. I don't want to say something wrong.
We'll figure out who all's here, and then we'll be taking a break now. Everyone can look into it.
Okay, yeah, that's what I said. I got to check. I may not have written it down on the right piece of paper. Thank you.
Tanya Emery?
Yeah, it's Tanya Emery, and then I'll regroup real quick if I just have a second, Judge. Tanya Lee Emery is before the court in 22 CF 70. This is a CAC case with Ms. Basso, and we discussed this situation. I think we can have a return docket day. We're looking at something with the state, and I won't go into the details if the court will permit us to just have until a week from today to try to work something out.
Very good. We'll continue until 2:20 for plea. Stay in good contact.
No, just come back a week from today. Okay. 9 a.m. Judge, I just need to check and see who did waivers here.
Well, let's not worry about who did waivers. Let's see who all's here in the courtroom.
Okay,
Get
yes,
them
yes.
done. We'll take a break and everybody can then check their notes and
Right,
we'll figure
because
out.
for instance, Mr. Eccles, I had a waiver and I just didn't write it. I had to write it in 3 places to get it right. Abraham Evans did a waiver. Michael Evans did a waiver.
Why don't we just get the people that are here, get them done, and then we can regroup.
Yes, Judge.
Just tell them to raise their hand, tell them who they are, and we'll figure it out.
Murphy, Broderick.
Broderick. Okay. Who's Broderick? Who's your attorney, Mr. Broderick?
Martin, somebody knows, and I haven't.
Marty knows.
Mr.
Murphy
Hold on. Well, hold on.
I see you, sir. I'm going to get with you as soon as the judge will let me. Thank you. Thank you, Judge.
Okay.
Good system.
What's that?
It's a good system.
We've been here till 7 o'clock tonight.
Judge, I've pulled out the 3 that I have. What I can do them after this gentleman, or I can do it now. Whatever.
Mr. Broderick wants to
They're
come
not
up here.
waivers.
Hold on.
I'll wait.
I'm looking for the name sheet, and somebody
This,
notes about today.
Miss Merrifield was covering for Mr. Dopes this morning.
I've been looking for everybody.
As I recall, this case
We don't have a
was
Broderick on my side.
Murphy, Your Honor. It'll be under,
Murphy?
yes.
Okay.
Okay, Murphy. Murphy.
Yeah, they handled it.
Okay, and did you show that Ms. Maryfield was here for that?
I do.
She was.
I haven't seen nobody. I done asked everybody in the courthouse about this, and I've been sitting this whole time.
Well, I have notes that said that your case was continued till 4:10. Unless I was mistaken, somebody announced your case. Miss Merrifield was covering for Mr. Notes. I know
I
that.
called, and that's what they said, but I've been walking around, I've asked
Well-
this, and
Yeah,
haven't heard nothing.
no,
Okay.
your case was handled.
Okay,
It was continued until April 10th. I'm sorry you had to wait around. And
I wish
So-
somebody would have asked for me.
So we need to have somebody just, whose whole job is just to kind of figure out.
I need a job. I need a job. I do it for you. All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Judge. I pulled out the four that are not waivers. And Rennie Jones.
Okay. Okay.
Your Honor, Rennie Dwayne Jones is before the court in 20 CF 2277. This case has been going on a long time. Depositions have been done. I think the state needs to have a little bit more opportunity to reach out to the alleged victim. I think if we can have him return on docket day, we can hopefully.
They know, they'll be fine.
So if he can come back to April 10, we can hopefully, excuse me, if he can come back
On the 20th
February
of
20th.
February.
February 20, yes.
For plea.
Yes,
Okay.
Judge. For a resolution of some kind. Now, it may be a dismissal. We remains to be seen.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Kendall, Joshua T. Kendall, and then it'll be Mary Mason. Your Honor, Joshua T. Kendall is before the court in 21 CF 2175. For reasons that I've explained to the state, he does not feel that he would be able to do Veterans Court or Drug Court. However, it appears that he may have eligibility for mental health court that needs to be evaluated. Does the state object to his being evaluated for mental health court?
I'm sorry, I didn't remember.
This is Joshua Kendall, and I'm asking to continue him for a mental health court evaluation. Do you have?
You can at least meet with Miss Adams and let her tell me what he has going on and if he's appropriate.
Okay, so he represents, Your Honor, that he's doing that on Thursday, so we can have him return on docket day.
Okay.
So you got to come back February 20th. I am. Thank you.
So, just from my knowledge, I'm not holding anybody, but you said that he wasn't, he was not eligible?
Yes, Judge.
Or
Well,
he wasn't eligible, or
I was purposely nuanced. He might be eligible for drug court or veterans court, except for the fact that he has very serious pain management issues. He's a disabled veteran, and there's a lot of pain in his life. And so he does have, I think, PTSD and other issues that might need to be evaluated by mental health court, but he doesn't think he will be eligible for the other two options. Do you have information you wish to share with the court?
Yes, sir. I tried Veterans Court earlier, and it didn't work because I wasn't authorized to take my medications. And they basically made it just identical to drug court, and I was like, it doesn't work. So,
And we've had, these are honestly, as the court can see, rather mature cases before the court. One of them's a 21 CF case. So there have been many times where the court urged him to look at those other two options, and they appeared not to be something that he could do.
Okay. Let's see where we're at on this last thing, but running out of options, Mr. Kendall.
Yes, sir.
So we do want to work with you. We know this is a difficult situation with pain management.
And
so
it was,
hopefully we can get a resolution.
Your Honor, the offer from the state from back, the original offer in September 2021 was 11 months, 29 days jail, followed by 2 years probation. So he certainly has an incentive to try to avoid that jail. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. We'll have a further discussion on the document.
Yes, sir.
Good luck.
After Miss Mary Mason will be Tyler Merritt. Your Honor, Mary Ann Mason is before the court, 21 CS 2586. Ms. Mason is another proud veteran of the military. I think you were in the Army for 17 years. Your Honor, she has a pretrial intervention offer. However, she has done a lot of research. There was a drug sniff issue, and as soon as we can get the video from the state, I'm going to evaluate it, and this public defender's office may be looking into an expert on this issue, so I need a bit more time, and I need the video.
So, did I hear you correctly that the defendant has been doing a lot of research?
Yes.
That's a paralegal.
She was a paralegal, and she knows a lot about drug dog sniff tests.
Okay, maybe we can all learn something.
Well, I'm learning from her, and we're, more importantly, I think, looking into the possibility of a true expert on the issue.
Okay, very good.
Thank you.
So what are we doing on this case?
I need a full cycle continuance to review video and possibly retain and get an opinion from an expert.
Okay, so
it'll be a motion to suppress if we go in that direction.
So who's handling this case?
This is me, Your Honor.
So if, based on the research and everything, you're an expert, you want to do a motion to suppress, I just want to ask, are we going to be able to get that done in the next 2 months? For the next cycle?
You know, it just...
I want to give everybody a chance to do it, but here we are, we're pushing, 18 months in this case. So...
And I think she had a private lawyer for a long time who worked out the PTI.
Well, here's the thing. I was going to say, I don't care.
Oh, that's
The case has been out there for a long time, and we have to move it. Yeah, you've got a right to do it, but we can't just keep going here, and then going here, and then going there, and then here we are 18 months out. You deserve resolution, the state deserves resolution, and it's my job to push toward it. So, just want to make sure we're moving. We're now on a clear path to get resolution, and want to give you every opportunity. And if we got a motion to suppress with an expert on dog sniffers, that'd be great.
Your Honor,
I'd learn something.
The public defender's office
would too.
Is expeditiously evaluating an issue that her private lawyer and her, they split up over this issue. She feels so strongly about it. So I, in a very short amount of time, have got up to speed. I've met with her, and we're going to go forward as fast as possible.
Appreciate your
lightning speed.
Conscientiousness, Mr. Medina, as always.
Thank you.
Okay. Want to give you your day in court, ma'am?
I would love it.
Okay. Okay. We'll come back. We'll continue this for a full cycle till April 10th, 9 a.m. But we will, the goal, I'm just going to make a note, that hopefully we'll be able to get, if there is a motion to suppress, I'm not going to be absolutely rigid. If you don't get it filed by then, I'm going to not allow it. But I'm asking to get it, go ahead and get this done and scheduled before the next cycle.
So April 10th?
April 10th.
Thank you.
Thank you. You have a nice day.
Yes. You too. You'll be all right. 9 o'clock, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you.
Tyler Merritt.
Thank you. Your Honor, Tyler Merritt is before the court in 21 CF 2937 and 22 CF 2894. These are two FDLE chemical analysis cases that involve suspected cannabis, and they have to do their tests to see if it's cannabis or hemp, basically, is the main issue based on delta-9 THC levels. We don't have that back in either of the cases. The state has not indicated a willingness to dismiss the cases, but and he's indicated an insistence on seeing if the state can prove its case, and I represent him on that issue, and we're asking to continue the case.
Well, Is it my imagination, or we've been getting a lot of FDLE waiting for, did we get more today than normal? Or, I mean, I know we always have a couple, but it seemed like we had 15 or 20 of them today.
We recently got notification that FDLE is months and months backed up. So that's.
Like they had to tell us that, right? Okay. Well,
And it's,
one thing for sure, Mr. Mayor, you'll get your day in court if that's what you want. Okay. Very good. So we'll come back. We'll just continue in our regular cycle. Hopefully we can get FDLE to, get through their backlog a little bit and get it done, figure out where we're going, okay? Okay. Thank you.
thank you, Your Honor.
Okay.
So, Your Honor, is he going to be April 10 then?
April 10th.
Okay,
April 10th,
10.
9 a.m.
Thank you.
Okay, I know we have a number of cases that you've waived. I didn't think it was. I appreciate that. The way you all did it is good, to clear everybody out, and you're trying to be, respectful of the people that are here. I know it's a long wait. So we're trying to go as fast as we could. Okay, we'll take 10 or 15 minute break, and then we'll come back and we'll knock out the rest of the waivers.
We're taking a break, but we're gonna do what's called housekeeping days, clean up the document. People that didn't show up. And she's gonna go through all of her leftover minute sheets. So there should not be any person. Thank you so much, man. You're a great host. Okay.
So this is what I'm going to do about.
She's not even alleging that they were involved. Well, that makes me No, mine are all done. Mine are all done, except I think Dixon probably looks good. Check on that, and then what about them? He does that sometimes. It's very short. Just do that. I'm looking at the one that he was talking about there.
I almost laughed out loud, Mr. Chairman.
Why did he speak?
No, the judge wants to get involved in the,
I'm sure you know what's going on.
right, I know, you're like.
The period
Well, I'm not trying to be a smarty pants, I just couldn't, I don't know enough about his procedures, I don't know where he's going.
That's why he was going with that, wasn't it? Yeah, well, you have a point.
There's nothing wrong with the court entering settlement negotiation deal. It's totally legit.
I remember you tried to get John Terry.
Yeah, that was
that one time John Terry was like,
what? Well, that was different. That was different. That was complicated.
yeah,
That was COVID time.
yeah. We're back in COVID time.
Yeah. I just want to wear the mask.